My parents said that they needed to have me up for dinner and spend some time with me. And as soon as I got there, they looked like ghosts. And they said, "We have really bad news for you." And I sat down like, what could be wrong? What is going on? I had no clue. They said, "We found out that you've been infected with HIV. You have HIV." And I mean, at that moment, just like that, my whole life was different.
Use a barrier, use a condom, use a dental dam to help yourself, help your partner, to protect each other, because we have a disease that is rampant. We have HIV.
Every day, young people discover that they have been infected with HIV. Here are some of our stories.
Just a couple of times that were less than safe, that weren't safe at all, but mostly they were. I mean, I wasn't being stupid. Well, I was being stupid because I let it happen once or twice, but it just happened so quickly.
He had sex with me, he came inside me, and I'm quite sure that's when I got infected.
Hemophilia, factor VIII deficiency, and that's how I acquired the HIV virus, is through blood products that I've been dependent on all my life.
I had this weird idea that it might have been the very first guy that I slept with.
I was dating my boyfriend at the time, who I knew was HIV positive, and I still let him infect me.
You know, people often ask, you know, what was it that was going through your head that would cause you to do something like that? And, you know, I really don't know how to respond to that other than by saying, you know, I just couldn't find the words to speak up for myself.
I pray to God and I'd be like, why you did it to me? Did I do anything wrong? You know, I just had one sex partner and he just destroyed my whole life. And I hate him for that.
I didn't want him to shoot up and share needles, and I was worried about that. But it didn't go beyond that. I wasn't more worried about having unprotected sex. I never thought to get an HIV test. I never thought to consider HIV.
Had all the information, had all the knowledge, and maybe slipped up once or twice, and ended up with an HIV status.
Given the way we're living, wouldn't you say we're killing ourselves?
I knew that I was going downtown to get an HIV test, and my parents knew that, and they were terrified because they thought about it, you know. They thought about the fact that I had been a drug addict since I was 14 years old, that I had been having sex since I was 13 years old.
When it came to the nurse going down her list, she was like, well, have you had sex with an IV drug user? You know, have you had sex with so-and-so and such and such? And I was like, no. Well, how many partners have you had? And I said 6. And it just happened to be that on her little sheet of paper, in print said if patient has 6 or more partners, they should be tested.
She said, well, you're positive. And I said, I'm what? She said, you're HIV positive. And I just sat there for a minute. She said, are you okay? How does that make you feel?
But it was a scary feeling. I felt numb.
I didn't know what to do, you know. I didn't eat for 2 or 3 days, and I just couldn't keep it. I had to tell somebody, but who would I can tell? Not my mama or not her baby boy.
There was a phone call, the phone rang, and I picked up the receiver, and Jennifer told me, Mommy, my test came back, and she said I'm HIV positive, and just all the strength, even holding the receiver, my strength just fell. I know that you didn't ask me this, but her younger sister just nearly collapsed on the floor. She just collapsed. My husband said, oh no, and he just went like that. Just so somber. We were all just shaken up and, yeah, in shock. In shock.
It didn't take more than 2 seconds, and all of a sudden, I would never know that person who I was. If I tried to find her, she's not there. I'm a completely different human being.
I thought that HIV only happened to people I didn't know. I thought HIV only happened to gay men and people who use drugs, and I just didn't think it would happen to me.
Important to express what we all thought about living with this disease, because there was so much focus on adults living with this virus and very little focus of young people. It was urgent to get this done, to speak our minds, to have a place, an arena to speak the truth about how we felt.
We traveled across the country interviewing and filming other young people who were also HIV positive. It helped us know that we weren't alone. I mean, just by meeting so many people who were going through the same thing we were, it helped us realize that we weren't the only ones out there who were dealing with this book.
Most 20-year-olds are sort of thinking about what club they're going to go to, or what outfit they're going to buy, or, you know, who they fancy, and, you know, that sort of thing, or what career they want. And I'm thinking about, you know, HIV and, you know, what that means really.
Young adults think we're invincible. And that's what does it. The fact that you think you're invincible is not going to happen to you. It happens to other people. And that's where we get into more young people getting infected.
What's really scary is there's so many people that keep pushing it away from themselves. They can't believe that it's part of themselves, that they act as if they don't have the virus. They keep living and having sex like they don't have the virus. And that's what keeps spreading it.
AIDS is a word that I haven't been able to say. For the first 12 years I had HIV, I could not say AIDS. Now I can say AIDS, but it takes a lot to say the word.
I thought that I didn't have it. I thought it was a mistake. Excuse me. So then I got retested, but then it came out back positive. And I got tested already like 7 times because I can't accept it, and it's still hard for me to accept it. I had it already 5 years, and I still can't believe I have this.
The thing that I'm most scared of is dying alone, dying in pain. I'm afraid of not having someone there to hold my hand, to say that it's going to be okay, and to talk me through it.
Nobody ever told me when I was 14 that I wouldn't get sick right away. They told me the only information they could give me was that I would not be 18. Nobody ever said that I might not get sick a lot, that I might be healthy. Nobody ever told me when I was 14 that people might not like me and not want to be in relationships with me, not want to hold my hand or let me cry in their arms just because I have this virus. It was so bizarre to me.
You know, it's hard. Every day I be thinking about, you know, because I want to do a life and I want kids and everything, but then I don't want to bring kids in the, in this world to be, sick or nothing like that.
Having the virus inside you makes you feel like no one's ever gonna touch you again. And telling people that you have the virus makes you scared. No matter how long you've told people.
Even now, my self-confidence will never be what it was before this happened to me. Never, because it just knocked me back so far. I think for quite a while I thought, I'm HIV positive, who would want to go out with me? That's how I felt. My self-esteem was so low.
I was given my own plate, bowl, spoon, fork, knife, my own dish pan to wash it in, my own dishcloth to wash it. I went in my room and I cried, and I didn't cry because I was HIV positive. I cried because I had just been treated so horribly by my own parents.
I went to see a doctor and the guy forgot to take my temperature. The guy didn't want to touch me. The guy did not know what to do with me. I looked at my mom and I cried and I said, why are people afraid of me now? People are afraid to touch me. And it's always been so important for people to touch me, to physically touch me. That's part of the reason why I started having sex at such a young age, because I needed some kind of love.
It's not a question, but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life.
Friends of mine who know that I'm positive and know how I got positive and things like that will still not have safe sex sometimes. And that kills me.
Over and over and over and over and over and over again, you hear it, and there we go. One time, didn't use a condom, and I have HIV.
All I want to say is to people out there, they're gonna be having sex. Use condoms and stuff that protect you, because having this is not cute, and having sex for fun like that is not worth your life.
It's got to be the dog biting you on the ass before you put the dog to sleep. It may bark at you every single day, but it's not going to do anything until it actually bites you on the ass. Until you are infected, or your children are infected, or your grandmother's infected, then you'll wake up and pay attention.
People who are empty and don't have the knowledge about HIV, AIDS, or safer sex, go and get that knowledge, because if you don't have that, you won't survive for the future.
I've been HIV positive for 6 years. I'm 20-year-old. I have a 4-year-old that is negative, and I have another baby that's on the way.
I'm 19 years old. I've been HIV positive for 5 years.
And my dream is to have and to live a happy and healthy life with my son.
My goal is to get old. Is to turn old. That's it. And I guess old would be 40, 50 maybe.
I have a son. He's going to be 2 years old. He was born HIV positive, but thank God now he's HIV negative.
My hope is that they find the cure for HIV and AIDS. And when they do, I'm gonna run around the street naked. That's how happy I'm gonna be.
Just protect yourself. That's the only thing you could do in this life to save your life.
I told Chris that I'm positive on our second date. It was harder for me to tell him that I was positive than it was for him to hear that I was positive. He just looked at me and he didn't say anything. He just gave me a big hug. He came around and hugged me and held me. and I started crying. It was just wonderful. I think that was probably the perfect thing he could do.
And he said, he's like, do you want to go out for dinner? Sure. He said, well, and I'm thinking in the back of my mind, how do I tell this man I'm HIV positive? Should I say something right now? Should I wait? Da, da, da. And he goes, oh, Nate told me. And I said, oh, he did. And that, you know, I mean, we were on the same wavelength. It was like, he did. He's like, that's okay with you? He said, yeah, that's okay. And I'm like, wow, neat. It's okay.
There are a couple of my friends that don't know, and I'm still afraid to tell them. Although you know them real well, and you know they probably will be there for you if they're true friends, but there's still a fear of abandonment that's there, and it's real. It's not like something you make up.
Dating is just extremely hard. Now I have to, decide whether I want to tell this guy that I'm positive. True enough, people that aren't positive and are positive are in relationships. But sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. If it doesn't work out, I have to worry about him going out there discussing my business with other people.
I just told my family, but they just turned me off. So they're very ignorant, so I don't talk to them no more.
Through crying tears and running nose, I managed to tell my sister that I have AIDS and I was gonna die. My sister told me something that always stuck with me, that it was gonna be all right.
I feel for him. I love him so much, I don't want him to die. I want him to take care of himself, He's my brother. He's my blood. I suffer a lot. But I love him anyway, no matter what.
We suffer every day. What is it for?
I think we're going to be eliminated if things don't change. And people have been talking about change for 10 years. It hasn't happened. I'm waiting not for a cure, but for the spark that's gonna ignite something within people who are not infected.
I suppose you just have to protect yourself, look after yourself. Just don't take any risks. It's not worth it, really.
I've had friends who have died quickly, and that's kind of a scary thing. I mean, 1 month you see them and they're doing great, they're running around the world having a great time. Some big infection hits them and they're gone.
So don't think that you live this perfect dandy how life, you work, you have money, you have this. That's not life. That is not life. If you don't have your health, you don't got, excuse my language, but it's true.
This disease is real. It's not going away. And if you have it, you can live powerfully. But if you don't have it, you do not want it.
I've chosen to be strong with my illness because I don't feel like I'm sick. I'm not sick. I'm healthier than I ever have been, and I've been positive for over 9 years.
Fight, you can fight, get in tune with yourself. There's a lot of things you could do to stay healthy. I mean, I'm feeling great every morning I wake up, and it's 10 years later, and I plan on living at least another 10.
I catch myself getting down about things and pick myself back up and remember that I have today. Remember that I can do whatever I want with today. I've got today.
I dream about my future. I dream about what it would be like to be 85 years old.
I really, really want to get old. There's so many people who don't want to get wrinkles. There's so many people who don't want to have gray hair, but all I want is to have long gray hair that I put up in a bun and lots of wrinkles.
My advice to people, to young people especially, is to never lose sight of who you are as a wonderful human being who has hopes and dreams and desires. In order to protect yourself, you need to respect yourself. Maybe that will prevent another infection from happening, but you have a lot to deal with now, and so deal with it.
I don't see the virus as a curse. I don't see it as a curse, and I don't see it as the end of the world for me. It's something that I'm gonna fight until the end. And I'm gonna get old and gray. I'm gonna see my son get married. Okay, that's what I'm aiming for now. I'm gonna see my son get married. And he's 6 months old, and I'm gonna see him get married. You know, and I'll be here. I'll be around. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not gonna let this virus beat me. All right.